Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. This time, we're taking a look at large language models.
LLMs.
Yeah, LLMs. These are the AI systems that can do it all. Write poems, code, even translate languages.
Pretty impressive stuff.
But today we're asking a different question.
Mm.
How good are these LLMs at exploring?
That's a good question.
Yeah. And to answer it, we've got some really interesting research that looked at how LLMs performed in, you guessed it, a video game.
Always a good time.
It's Little Alchemy 2. Have you ever played it?
I have, actually. It's pretty addictive.
You combine different elements to create new ones?
Yeah, you start with basic stuff like water and fire.
Yeah.
You combine those and poof, you get steam.
But it gets way more complex. There are like hundreds of elements to discover.
So you got to get creative to find them all.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes this game such a fascinating way to study these AI systems.
It's not just about knowing the right answer. It's about figuring out what's even possible.
I like that. Thinking outside the box.
So let's get to the results. What did the researchers find when they let these LLMs loose in Little Alchemy 2? Did they dominate?
Well, not exactly. Actually, most of them didn't perform as well as you might think.
Really?
Yeah, they actually underperformed compared to human players.
Huh. That's a surprise. I thought LLMs were supposed to be these, like, master pattern finders. What happened?
Well, it's not about being smart in the traditional sense. It's more about how they think.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, see, LLMs, they tend to get stuck in what we call exploitation mode.
Exploitation mode. What's that?
It means they focus on using what they already know to get those quick wins instead of venturing out into the unknown to see what other possibilities are out there.
So they play it safe?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like sticking to your favorite restaurant.
I get it. You know you like it there.
Eh.
No surprises.
But you might be missing out on some amazing new dishes at that new place down the street.
True. That Thai place around the corner looks kind of interesting.
That's the spirit. And this research actually digs deeper into this idea of exploration.
Oh, tell me more.
They looked at two specific exploration strategies. One is called uncertainty-driven.
Uncertainty-driven. So that's like trying new things even if you're not sure what you'll get.
Exactly, like that Thai restaurant you mentioned. It might be amazing or a total flop, but you got to try it to find out.
I like it. What's the other strategy?
It's called empowerment.
Empowerment. So like being confident in your choices.
It's more about making choices that unlock more possibilities in the future, even if the immediate reward isn't obvious.
Okay, that's a little more complex. How does that work in Little Alchemy 2? I mean, it's not like you get bonus points for picking certain combinations.
Not points exactly, but think about it this way. Some elements are more empowering than others because they can be combined with tons of other things.
I see.
Like, let's say you discover human in the game. That opens up a whole bunch of possibilities for new combinations.
Right. Yeah, humans can do a lot of stuff.
Exactly. But what if you discover alien? There may be fewer things you can do with that.
Okay, that makes sense. Humans are more versatile.
And humans playing the game naturally gravitate towards these empowering elements because it leads to more potential discoveries down the line.
So did the LLMs pick up on that?
That's the interesting part. Most of them didn't seem to understand the value of empowerment.
Huh, they missed that.
They fixated on what they already knew or what seemed most certain.
Even if it limited their chances of winning.
Yeah, it's like they were thinking too fast.
Wait a minute, I thought LLMs were good at spotting patterns, making connections. Isn't that kind of what empowerment is all about?
You'd think so, right? But something else was going on in those AI brains.
So what was going on? Did the researchers figure that out?
They did, actually. They used a special technique to kind of analyze how the LLMs were processing information, like an AI brain scan, you could say.
A brain scan, that's cool.
And what they found was that the LLMs represented uncertainty very early on in their thought process,
Okay.
but empowerment that showed up much later.
So it's like they were making snap judgments before they even thought about the long-term possibilities?
Exactly. Like impulse buying that shiny new gadget without thinking about your budget.
Oh yeah, been there, done that. Not always the best idea.
Right. And that's the thing with these LLMs. They're focused on the immediate payoff, not the long-term potential.
And that hurt them in Little Alchemy too.
It seems that way. Because in this game, thinking ahead is really key.
Okay, so most of the LLMs got stuck in that exploitation mode, but you said there was one that did well, right?
You're right, O1 was the standout. It explored really effectively.
So what was different about O1? Did it just slow down and think more?
Well, it's probably more nuanced than that. O1 seemed to balance uncertainty and empowerment.
Like a human player.
Yeah, more like a human. It considered both the immediate payoff and the long-term possibilities.
So it's not just about how smart these AIs are, it's about how they approach the problem.
Exactly.
Are they thinking strategically? Or just going for that quick win?
That's the question. And this research suggests that maybe when we train these LLMs, just cramming them with information isn't enough.
So you need to teach them to think differently.
We need to teach them how to think flexibly, strategically, to consider the long game.
Okay, so we've got these AIs playing a game, but I'm starting to see how this connects to how we use these systems in the real world.
Absolutely.
We'll get to those real-world applications in a bit. But first, I want to dig a little deeper into this idea of thinking too fast. What does that actually look like inside an AI system?
Great question. So imagine you're just, scrolling through your favorite social media app.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean, doom scrolling.
Exactly. And, the algorithm is designed to keep you engaged.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know how to hook you in.
It's showing you posts that it thinks you'll like.
Based on what you've clicked on before.
Exactly.
Scary how well they know me sometimes.
But think of that algorithm as an LLM.
The social media algorithm.
Yeah, that's stuck in exploitation mode.
Okay, so it's showing me the safe bets.
Right. The familiar stuff,
Yeah.
it knows you'll probably click on.
But what about those things that might surprise me?
Or challenge you.
Introduce me to something totally new.
That's where exploration comes in.
Huh. I never thought about those algorithms that way.
They're giving you what they think you want,
Mhm.
not necessarily what's best for you.
Or what might actually broaden my horizons.
Exactly. And that's the thing with LLMs that prioritize immediate certainty over long-term potential.
That keep us in a bubble.
A bubble of familiar information.
Yeah?
They limit our exposure to new ideas.
So how do we break out of those bubbles? Can we train LLMs to be more curious?
That's the million-dollar question.
Can we nudge them towards the unknown?
Researchers are working on that. One approach is using something called reinforcement learning.
Reinforcement learning. What's that?
It's where you train the AI to seek out novelty.
Like given a reward?
Exactly. Like giving it a dog a treat when they bring you a new toy
Mhm.
instead of the same old tennis ball.
I love that. So we're rewarding the AI for exploring.
For making unexpected connections.
That could lead to breakthroughs.
Exactly. It's like we're training them to be our partners in discovery, not just our information filters.
That's awesome. I like the sound of that.
And if we can crack this exploration code, who knows what's possible?
Yeah. What kind of amazing things could we discover?
Think about scientific research. LLMs can help scientists sift through mountains of data.
To find those hidden connections that we humans miss.
Exactly. Or in art and design.
They could suggest new combinations of sounds, colors, shapes.
And help artists push creative boundaries.
It's like giving artists a superpower.
Because beyond that,
Yeah.
we could apply this to education business.
Help students find their passions.
Or entrepreneurs identify new opportunities.
It's like using AI to augment our own human capabilities.
It'd be more creative, more innovative.
More successful.
Exactly.
So this isn't just about making LLMs better at playing games or finding information.
It's about harnessing their power to benefit humanity.
That's a great point.
And it comes back to something we talked about before.
Yeah.
The future of AI is not predetermined.
We can shape it
It's up to us to guide its development.
in a way that's good for everyone.
Right. And that means teaching these systems to be more than just intelligent,
We gotta teach them to be curious,
to value exploration.
to be okay with taking risks.
Exactly. And this brings us to something really important.
What's that?
This research isn't just about understanding LLMs.
It's about understanding ourselves.
Humans are naturally curious. We're driven to explore, even when it's risky.
It's part of what makes us human,
So how do we balance that desire for novelty?
with the need for security and familiarity.
It's like we're looking in a mirror, but the mirror is distorted.
We see ourselves in these AI systems.
But it helps us understand ourselves better.
I like that.
By studying how LLMs explore, we might gain insights into how humans learn,
Right.
make decisions.
Even how we're creative.
It's a feedback loop. We use AI to understand ourselves.
And use ourselves to understand AI.
A dance between human and artificial intelligence.
Pushing each other forward.
And that's why collaboration is so important.
Mm.
Computer science, psychology, neuroscience.
We need all hands on deck.
To unlock the full potential of both human and artificial intelligence.
I'm sensing a theme here. It's not just about building smarter machines.
It's about using machines to
Mhm.
help us be smarter.
More human.
Okay, but let's get practical for a moment.
Love that idea.
What are some real-world examples of how this could play out in our lives?
So we've talked about how LLMs can get kind of stuck
Right.
in a Stuck in that exploitation mode
prioritizing what's familiar.
over the unknown. But what if we could flip that around?
What if we could teach them to embrace exploration?
How could that benefit us in the real world?
Good question. It's one thing to talk about it in theory.
But how would it actually play out in our everyday lives?
Let's start with something simple.
Okay.
Planning a trip.
Oh, I love to travel.
So you're using an AI-powered travel assistant.
Like one of those apps that finds cheap flights.
Yeah, most of those are great at finding the cheapest flights or the most popular hotels.
Right, but they're not so good at suggesting something off the beaten path. Like, instead of just showing me the Eiffel Tower,
It might suggest that quirky little museum.
the one I never would have found on my own.
Or a cooking class with a local chef.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
That's what exploration is all about.
It's about going beyond the tourist traps and discovering something truly unique.
Personalized discovery.
I love it. Okay, so that's travel.
But what about something with higher stakes,
Ooh, like what?
like scientific research?
Oh yeah, we touched on that earlier.
Imagine a team of scientists trying to cure a disease. They're sifting through tons of data.
Looking for clues,
And now imagine an LLM that can analyze that same data.
but with that knack for exploration
It might spot a connection.
that a human researcher might have missed.
A connection between two totally unrelated pieces of research.
That's the kind of breakthrough we need.
It's like having an AI research partner.
That can connect the dots in ways we can't even imagine.
And it goes beyond science. Think about creative fields.
Like music. An LLM that could help artists break free from those creative ruts.
Discover new forms of expression.
It's like a muse whispering fresh ideas.
And then there's education.
LLMs could help students find their passions.
By suggesting learning paths tailored to their interests.
And business.
Helping entrepreneurs find new opportunities.
So this is about more than just making LLMs better at doing tasks.
It's about using their power to augment our own capabilities.
To be more creative, more innovative.
More successful in whatever we do.
I like that a lot.
And it brings us back to a crucial point.
Which is,
The future of AI is not set in stone.
we have a say in it.
It's up to us to guide its development.
In a direction that benefits everyone.
Exactly. And that means teaching these systems to be more than just smart.
We need to teach them to be curious, to value exploration, to embrace risk.
That's the key.
It's almost like we're shaping their personalities.
The choices we make today about how we train these systems,
Will have a huge impact on our future.
that's a powerful thought.
It really is.
And it's a message for everyone.
Not just AI experts.
The next time you use an AI system,
Think about how it's exploring.
is it helping you expand your horizons?
Or just keeping you in a bubble.
Maybe we can even learn from these systems.
Become better explorers ourselves.
The world is full of incredible things waiting to be discovered.
If we're willing to look beyond the familiar.
I love that.
It's been a fascinating conversation. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's been a pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, and we'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.